All right, Lee, you are broadcasting, so anytime that whenever everybody gets here, you can start when you want.
I didn't follow that, Ron.
You are live, so
Yep.
when everybody gets here, you can start when you're ready.
All right. Yes, I'll standing by here. Thank you.
All right.
I got a couple on there.
Does it say mute? Can I ask them if they can hear you?
Yes.
Just wanted to see if you could hear me.
Yeah, that sounds much better. Bill, can you hear everybody all right?
I can hear fine.
I was wondering if Bill Rawlings is on here. I was wondering if he could hear.
I'm on, but I can't hear. I do not. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Your microphone was muted. I just unmuted you. That's why I was asking.
Ron, I don't have a copy of the budget that was just passed. And I'm sure the board is going to want to know what's in it. So I don't know if it's possible for you to get that information because you're at City Hall and I'm not.
No, it's too late now, but let's see if Laura's got it.
I'm getting it. Okay.
Don,
Well, I'm sorry, I cannot.
Boss, we don't have that info available to us right now.
Okay, small. Which part will you need?
Anything related to trees, tree removal and the arborist is in there, I know, and tree planting, anything related to trees. Well, this is exciting.
I guess we're just waiting for other people, huh?
That's 201.
Ron, can you hear me? Bill Rawlings?
Can hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, I can't see. My picture hasn't come up yet.
Is this Bill?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You have got a warning up says due to low bandwidth or local computer conditions, such as CPU or RAM use, video is not currently available for this user. So it could be your bandwidth is too low. So
I have a Logitech on here, and that normally on Zoom works.
you could be having some bandwidth issues.
I now see Mr. Herb.
Hey, Herb.
Hey there. Greetings.
I
Hey,
heard.
Miss Connie.
After page 3.
Hello.
See you.
Oh,
Page 3.
And Herb, on.
After page, see, it's just.
We have a quorum.
I'll let it sit, see if it opens.
Hey, Don.
Yes, Herb.
Saying hi. Hey, Ron, you have a good vacation?
I think he went some.
I did, sir. I got a little steelhead fishing in and played a whole lot of mini golf and we had a good time.
Well, that's good.
The fishing.
The steelhead run was just starting. They were there. We could see them. I mean, we could see them. They were huge. I took it through my bait and daggone near hit one on the nose with it. And he just kind of backed up 3 inches and looked at it. And that's all they were doing. But it was awesome weather. It was like about 72 degrees sitting on the river. And
Ron, what are those pink things behind you?
those are snails.
Yeah.
That is actually at a buffalo farm right up the road here,
Oh,
up towards Goshen.
uh-huh.
They're all along the drive going in.
Go up to Greenhaven Lane and take a left.
That's it. That's it. It's all at the end of Greenhaven.
So what are the snails for? They're supposed to scare off some corn plants
Just-
or something?
I think they're just conversation pieces.
That's really
To keep the Indians from shooting the buffalo. They got a big old crocodile back there too, or they did last time I saw it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Fun.
What's really cool is to go in the spring because they've got all the little ones running around. They're much cuter when they're little bitty. When they're big, you look at them and go, man, that's a lot of meat. When they're little, you go, ah.
My coworker, her significant other's the farm manager there,
Uh-huh.
and she would say she'd pull out her car and there'd be a big old buffalo just not too eager to move.
Mhm.
You'd have to wait it out. She said they can be ornery characters. You don't want to mess with the big ones.
Oh, yeah.
I bet.
I don't put much faith in that bonfire either.
Shall we get started, guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. The first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Actually, Linda sent out 2 sets of minutes, one for the meeting August 18, one for July. Any comments, additions, modifications?
Yeah, let me ask you about the one on the July 16th. When he gets in the 1, 2, 3, the 4th paragraph, and it talks about 8400 Westover and the 3 Norway spruce. Is that farther down Westover? Whereabouts on Westover is 8400?
Andrea, can you comment on that?
I don't know where the, I don't, oh, that's further down. That was the ones that, that's further down on Westover, like it's at a homeowner residence issue that we talked about, three spruces along the driveway, and somebody wanted to know if they were hazards or something. I think they reported them to Lee. And we talked about it and decided they weren't. It was far back from Westover. It's down past
Remember that, right?
it's way down, almost going towards Chestnut Hill Drive on the right.
Okay, well,
Those, near
It's
the
not that
street.
far down, but it's down that direction.
okay. Well, I have no problem with the minutes. I make a motion to approve the July 16th, 2020 minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay.
Go to the August 16th minutes. I'll wait for Connie or somebody.
It's fine. It's fine. What you want me to propose to accept them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I propose to accept the August minutes as read, as listed. as
Second.
read.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Next item is the mayor's update. Mr. Mayor, do you have any specific updates? I know you're working on the budget, but do you have anything else?
No, the budget was passed sometime in the last week. I am at home so that I can be in on this WebEx. It's the only way I've learned to do it. And I don't have it with me. So
I have it if you know what you're looking for.
anything to do with trees. Sally thinks she's got it on her computer. Yeah, tree removal, tree planting, that kind of stuff.
Well, one item that would follow later here, the very next to last item on the agenda, was fall planting. My recollection, I think Herb will probably recall, that the council voted $2,500 for tree planting. I'd like, and in fact I proposed by a separate email, that we review our planting plan and see if we can plant trees this fall. Now, I don't know if there's a problem with cash flow that would prohibit that.
No, I don't think so, Lee.
For tree planting, $100 excludes Howard Park.
Yeah, that says on reading to me, 2,500 for tree planting excludes Cali Park.
Right, right.
Well, since, some of these trees might not be, as Andrea has pointed out to us, some of these trees would be better not to be planted at the fall. So can we, since, the original design was for spring planting.
Well, let me just say something, Herb, there, if I could. So there's 9 other trees that were on the list that I think that Lee sent out that was in that email this week, other than Cowley Park.
Yeah.
There was 5 on Hunting Creek Drive, 3 on Montero Circle, and 1 at the end of Innisbrook Drive. And it was more, I think we just have to substitute, instead of one of the columnar oaks that I had recommended, we just need to substitute another columnar type shade tree, maybe another Armstrong maple for it. So I think that those actually all for that list would be available. I'll have to, if you want to go forward with that, I'll have to double check the availability list. I just got it from the nursery actually late yesterday. But,
okay.
It was some of the ones more in Cowley Park, Herb, that
yeah, okay.
I think would have been more available in the spring.
Very good.
So that would be 9 trees, and if you just approximate, I can get you exact pricing. Let's say $250 a tree, including the planting. But let's just say average $150 a tree wholesale. Some of them will be less. And but just for now, figure a little high, and $100 for planting. That comes out to $22.50 for the 9 trees, and then we'd probably want to add some trunk guards to have them planted with a trunk guard, so the deer don't destroy them. But that's minimal. So you would have enough money for sure to plant those if you want to move forward with that.
So we could plant all the median proposal trees and stay within the budgeted amount. That's great.
Right, I think so. Now we'd have to get updated prices on I can get you the tree prices tomorrow, no problem, and I can check with the planner that we've used before and see if he's still about the same price or what his exact planting price is per tree, and then you would know for sure. But I think you can. Yes.
Okay. And then those trees would go in
November.
would you think?
Yeah, November.
And the city wouldn't have to pay for them probably till late November or early December. Would that be reasonable?
Right. Whenever they get the invoice, I would say I'd say typically they probably aren't going to be available to mid-November, so, it might be, by the end of the year, you'd have to pay for them.
Okay. So, John Evans, would like clearance to, from a cash standpoint, go ahead with this planning plan, subject to Andrew's final resolution on the pricing and everything. But it looks like we
Well,
would be within that 25
That's fine.
budget.
That's fine, Lee. You have that.
Great.
That's great.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Good.
Would be okay? Connie and Herb,
Yep.
will you support that plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll
So,
get you that pricing right away, the final pricing, and I'll find out how much they are going to be to plant, and, you can get those numbers submitted and give approval, then final approval if you want to.
Great.
Yeah, just as long as you don't go over the budgeted amount.
Right.
So let's have a motion maybe from Connie or Herb to proceed with that planning plan.
I make a motion, we we proceed with the planting plan.
Let me see if Connie will go along with a change. Let's base it on if we can, if it works within the budget, and if need be to delete a tree on the Honey Creek, rather than do 5, let's do 4. We want to make sure.
That's good.
Sort of money.
Why do you want to do that, Herb?
Which one do we want to?
Why do you want to do that, though?
I want to make sure we can do. I don't want to come back and it's 25.50 and then we can't do
I don't think
anything.
it's going to. Like I told you, I think the most it's going to be is 20. I would think 22.50, or definitely under.
Okay, well,
It's but if you have to delete one, yeah, you can pick which one and then see. How about that?
okay, that
How
sounds
the
good.
numbers come in.
Yeah, let me take back what I said. I'll believe Andrea's estimate, and we'll work it out. If it needs to be, we have to delete 1 or 2.
Well, and the opposite's true too. If we have enough money, let's get another tree. Let's do 5.
That's an idea, Connie. I think that's a good idea. We say we want to plant as many as we can within the budget.
Yes.
So
Well,
see
let me get you the numbers, and then you all can decide. You can probably decide by email. And
Well, I don't want to wait 30 days till we meet again.
I'll get you the numbers this week, and then it'll probably be Thursday, honestly.
And why don't we go with Connie's motion, and I'll second her motion. We want to spend the money.
Okay.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Pass. Linda Knox, are you online here? I haven't heard anything from you.
I've been busy writing.
Okay. Great. Next item under Mayor's update is we had talked last meeting about setting up some kind of meeting with the Breakers management and with Hunter's Green to review whatever tree plans that they had, and then also, if possible, to offer guidance from Andrea as to their tree selection, so we have the right species of trees going in, or better still, a diversity of species, so we didn't have a situation where all the trees are one type, such as in Innisbrook, and they're all aging at the same time. John, can you help us set those meetings up? And it would probably be another WebEx meeting.
I set them up, but I don't know what the people I need to work with abilities are for WebEx. I've got to take a call. I'm sorry.
Lee, if we just had does the city have copies of their landscape plans yet? Maybe Don knows. I don't know.
No, we have nothing from either.
I mean, if we could get a copy of their landscape plans, That's what we really need. You know, it'd be good to meet with them or have a WebEx, but you know,
That's a good idea. So,
they might be able to send that out by email. Yeah, they should be able to, but like a digital version. If they have their plans.
I have a contact for the breakers, but I don't have a contact for Hunter's Green. John, if you could send that to me, I'll call both.
He's on the phone, Lee. He's on the phone. He's on a different call.
Okay. You can't hear me, right? Well, just wait a minute. While he's on that call, let's go to consultants updates. Andrew, do you have anything for us?
Well, as Lee knows, the Tricia Gill that lives at the corner of Happy Hollow and US 42 that we had sent, the city had sent her a letter about removing 3 ash trees that were near overhanging 42 that were dying or dead. And she has lined up Bob Ray Company to take out the trees. And she's been very cooperative. And I just wanted to let you know she's signed a contract with them to do that. It may be a few more weeks before they can actually get the trees down because just all the tree contractors are very busy and backed up right now. So that's just some information for you all. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, very good.
And you know, the other thing is I'm going to check with Cindy Markell again because I haven't seen, you know, we had sent 2 trees for the state to remove in the right of way along 42 past the entrance to Fox Harbor, and they haven't been removed yet. They're marked, but I thought I'd check with her and see if she knows when they might be removed. And then I sent you the picture today of there's a white pine that has died on the exit side of Sutherland Farm Drive. And I sent you all a picture by email of that tree. You might, I don't know if we want to add that to one of these removal lists. I guess we don't know without having the budget information if there was money in there for tree removal. We don't know that yet, I guess, right?
There would be some money in there, no doubt about it. Probably what we requested, and then there's also monies under Ron's budget. So I think we can certainly request removal, and it'll be up finally to Ron as who selects the removal contractors and regulate the total spending on that. Let's go ahead and request that removal.
Well, we ought to get an update. Maybe we can get an update from Ron too on what now that that budget has been, those numbers have been approved. What trees are going to be, you know, what he's planning on bidding out for sure to be removed. Because we have quite a list.
Yes, there's a list. I had it on this further discussion. I don't know if Ron is going to be on at that time, or even since he just got back from a week out, that he has any update. But,
right, he probably doesn't yet.
Okay.
And what else?
How about the one on Sedgwick and River Road?
I think we should just let that go for now. That tree is declining a little bit anyway, and let's see how it is by next spring, and then we can see. I mean, it's not a huge deal to have that limbed up a little. It's been hard to get with Metro, and I don't think it's not like it's a hazard tree situation. So I think we should just kind of table that for right now, if you're okay with that. And I think that's all. I'm trying to think. I had a discussion with, and I can't remember the gentleman's name. He was the past president of the Sutherland Board. I think maybe Connie might know his name.
Yeah, John Clark.
Yeah, John Clark.
That name.
The mayor asked me to call him several weeks ago, and I did, and he was trying to follow up on, there's trees that have, there's been a Louisville Water Company leak around one of the lakes in Sutherland, the one that's kind of opposite the Hunting Creek entrance, or down that way, that lake. And for a couple of years, evidently there's been a bad leak, and it's caused some, he wanted to know if that would cause some of the trees in that area to die. And I said, absolutely. And I guess the Sutherland Board has been trying for some time to nail down with the Louisville Water Company where that leak actually is. And nothing's been done. The water company's dragging their feet, basically. So anyway, I gave him a little information over the phone. I told him that he could get a company called American Leak Detector, which some of my other big clients have used, to actually detect where that leak is, since the board isn't getting the information from the Louisville Water Company they want. And I gave him that information. So anyway, it was a good call, and so I just wanted to pass that information on. And I think that's all I have today.
Okay, well, that's good. And we'll just wait on the elm. Mayor's still on the phone, so let's go down to the next item on the agenda, which is tree removals. Andy, you had recommended that the oak at Cawley be removed, and council asked for a second report, so I contacted Mr. Joe Clayton of Arborworks Company. He confirmed that that oak needs to come down. So I reported that actually last night to council, and it's also in emails. I don't know if we need to discuss it anymore, but it would certainly go on that removals list that Ron already has.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So when I get a chance to talk to Ron, I'll ask him to update. He can update by email if he has anything.
Okay.
The next item is, again,
can I add one thing, Lee? I'm sorry, I forgot on my report. We had decided a while back, you were concerned about a young dogwood tree in the median on Fox Harbor Road. And
yeah.
A while back, it looked kind of worse than it does now. And right now, I don't think we really need to remove it. I think we just need to have somebody carefully prune out the dead branches, and let's see what it does going into next year. Because it has quite a bit of growth on it, actually. So, I mean, it's struggling, but I think maybe we should leave it for a while and see how it does, if you want to do that. So we would have to tell Ron not to remove it. I think you maybe sent him an email about that.
Yeah, I can do that, but I think that tree's gone.
I'll say the
No,
one.
I just looked at it, and it's looking pretty good. It's a variegated tree, so it might look funny to you, the leaves.
All right. So dogwood on the second median should stay.
You can look at it again and see what you think, Lee, but I mean, it's probably 65, 70% leafed out, or 65. Okay. I mean, if it was my tree, I'd leave it for a little while longer and let's see what happens.
Absolutely. If we can save a tree, why not, you know?
Sure.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Okay. That covers the removals. The next item, again, is a problem for code enforcement. There's low-hanging limbs reported on Autumn Hill development, and then we've previously reported them on Hunting Creek Drive. Those fall under the nuisance ordinance, which actually is more stringent than the Forestation Board ordinance, and it's just someone has to measure whether the trees are above the stated distance on the road or the sidewalk and take them out. There shouldn't be any real action by Forestation Board. Of course, right now the city is missing a code enforcement officer. So when that'll happen, I'm not sure. Looks like the mayor's off the phone now. Are you there, John?
Yeah,
Good. Okay. We were talking about at the moment low-hanging limbs in the Autumn Hill area and also along Hunting Creek Drive. And what I was saying was that these are that can be handled under the nuisance ordinance, which specifies the allowable height, and it would be up to code enforcement to contact the owners of the properties involved and have them trim those trees back.
Lee, I don't have the staff to do it. I'm driving myself to do it myself. I won't bore you with the details, but it involves violations of the ordinance in the breakers. It involves boats and trailers and driveways. I don't have a staff person to do it. And
Yeah, I
I'm
understand
trying to do as much myself, but there's only so many hours in a day. So, tell you
Those are probably not hazardous situations in the short run. So I think my thought would be that when you get your code enforcement person in the position, then they can do it. That person could do it. There wouldn't be any real situation to deal with at the moment that would create a hazard.
well, I appreciate any break.
Okay. We had skipped over, Mr. Mayor, the discussion about the breakers at Hunting Creek, Hunter's Creek tree reviews, but Andrew suggested we just get a copy of their tree plans. I'm happy to call. I have a contact for the breakers, but I need one for Hunter's Green. If you could send me an email or give me the phone number some way, I'll contact that person and see.
Yeah, I will. His name is Kevin Davis, and he's a company called LD&D, Stand Design and Development, I believe. His name is Kevin Young.
What's the name of the company?
And
Kevin Young. Yep.
My
I have his phone number, Lee. I can give you that phone number.
You have it?
Andrea knows it.
Here, let me see if I'll look it up, or I had it. I mean, I've used it in the past. Let's see here. I should have it.
I'll call them and ask for tree plans.
Good people.
Just ask him if he has a copy of the landscape plans, especially the tree planting. Oh gosh, I thought I had his number.
There you go.
I have his email address, but I don't have his number.
I think I've got it. I worked with him on many projects.
Yeah, I did too. I don't know why I don't have his number.
Well, Herb, if you know the individual, why don't you just call him?
Yeah, I'll call him.
Okay, that's great.
And Lee, while I was on the phone, you were talking about some problem in Sutherland. What?
That was probably the Sedgwick tree, right? Was that the Sedgwick and River Road tree?
We were talking about a dead pine too that will be identified along the exit side of Sutherland Farm Road.
Some work that was being done or some kind of.
I'm following that discussion. Can you please repeat that?
It had something kind of a leak.
Oh, that was a follow-up to a call I made at your request to, what did you say his name is, Connie, again?
Oh, John Clark.
Yeah, no, I can't remember his name. John Clark, about the water company leak that's affecting some of their trees. You know, that you asked me to call him about along one of the lakes in Sutherland. And he's frustrated. He said the board and he were frustrated not getting anywhere after 2 years with the water company. He said they haven't been able to determine exactly the location of the leak, the exact area. And so I told him there's a company called American Leak Detectors that can identify lots of different leaks, either water leaks, gas leaks, all kinds of things, irrigation problems, related to leaks. And they work a lot with another client of mine. And so I gave him that contact info just in case he would help him. So that's what we were talking about, relating to leaks. Now, the contractor that works for Sutherland, ProTurf, the owner of ProTurf told me that it was his understanding from the board in the past that leak was under 42 somewhere across from the Hunting Creek entrance. So I don't know, but I just gave him that information that I had, John Clark. So that's what we were talking about.
Now the Mr. Clark, I think, has moved out of Prospect. There's a new HOA president.
Right.
Connie, yes?
Yeah, he was just calling. The board had asked him to call about that. So that's why he was. This is going back maybe right after our last meeting.
I'm not hearing Connie or anybody else.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay, great. So on this Sutherland,
You might be surprised me being quiet, but I'm here also.
That's great, Herb. Always great to have you here.
You're pretty quiet today.
So I'm just asking if we need to do anything further on the Sutherland issue there with the leak.
No, no, not at this time.
Okay, that's great. All right.
He was just asking a question, that was all, and I think I answered it. He basically wanted to know if excess water could kill trees. I said yes.
Yes.
That's a big yes.
Okay. We'll cover that issue then. The next item is are some questions and comments from Bill Rawlings. Bill, are you still on the line there?
Yes, I am.
Could you bring up your comments about the Hunting Creek Drive entrance and also about the problem with the needle cast?
Well, let me just start out and say that I love Prospect, and I noticed about a year ago or so, the city had put some blue spruce on the entryway in, driving into our neighborhood. And then after a while, they were taken out, and I noticed other blue spruce in the neighborhood had to be removed. And I personally have 2 very large blue spruce in my backyard. And so I personally contacted my landscaper and then Lynn Walker and got a lot of information on the problem that is going on. Mm-hmm. But then when I received an email one day about one of your other meetings, and I listened, and I know Herb very well, and I know our mayor very, very well. So I called Herb and I said, Herb, I really found your meeting so interesting and I said, I would like to be kept up to date on what is being done about that. And so I've learned a lot. I must tell you though now, all of you, I had no idea this committee existed. You are very, very impressive. I cannot get over the knowledge all of you have on every tree in our neighborhood. So what Herb also said when he and I talked, of course, I noticed the tree in front of City Hall and coming into coming into our neighborhood, there are 2 or 3 trees that are almost dead. But you guys know that. So I'm not the one to tell you that there's a tree that's dying. You all know it. But all I'm saying is I truly appreciate what you're doing for the city. And I'm so interested in knowing what can be done on trees. Personally, after meeting with my limb walker service, they've even given me a quote on how much it's going to cost me to take my 2 trees out, and I doubt if I'm going to be able to save them. But anyway, those overall are my comments. Again, I just thank you for inviting me here. For some reason, I do not have visual, and I don't know why. I can have a Zoom meeting, but I can't. I can see you guys, but you can't see me. Maybe enough said on my point. I just truly am impressed with this committee and what you are doing for Prospect.
Let me bring up something. When Bill and I talked, and I'd learned, from Andrea about this needle cast problem, and we'd learned, if you don't treat it a certain time of the year, forget it. But I'm just, maybe it's more of my education than when Bill's like, if it's, as far I know, springtime was the time to do it. Is it worthwhile to watch the tree until next spring and then treat it?
To be honest with you, Herb, that's exactly what Limb Walker. Everyone knows that service, that company. But you are right, and I say things, all of you know it, but you can only spray the tree 2 to 3 times in the spring. And I said, well, by that time, you wonder after the winter how many needles are going to go. So I kind of doubt if we're going to be able to save those trees that I have. I mean, they are in the city. Some of them look like they're almost dead now. Maybe that answered your question
Right.
from what I heard, Herb.
When they get too far gone, it's not worth spraying them. So you're kind of wasting
true.
money. And these sprays are not as effective as we'd like them to be. So I think there's been more research recently that's showing, 10 years ago, we thought the sprays were pretty helpful. And now that the disease, there's more and more trees in the area all around Louisville that are infected. So there's more disease inoculum out there. And we've had some very, very wet springs, as you all know. 2018 was one of the wettest years on record. Wet, and 2019 spring was very wet. And wet weather promotes fungal diseases, so make this particular disease worse. So, and then on top of it, a lot of the big blue spruces that are so susceptible to it have had drought stress. We had a very severe drought, as you may remember, last fall. And so it's just been a lot of weather stresses in addition to a disease problem. And unfortunately, these blue spruces are succumbing to it. I'm not recommending planting them anymore. And I'm about done recommending spraying them as well, because I just don't see it being overly effective. So it's really sad because they're beautiful specimen trees, and it's hard
They really are.
It's hard to find something else with that color, the silvery blue needles, and the just how a classy, really attractive tree like that. So, but yes, it's a disease problem that's widely recognized now and very prevalent in the whole state, really. So
I really accept your comments, and I really agree. It doesn't sound like the city should spend a lot of time on trying to correct the problem that we have.
And we're not really.
Yeah.
We're pretty much quit.
Because it's going to cost me a few hundred to take my 2 trees out, but you have to do it. They also provide a lot of privacy in some places is needed, because you really can't. I live in an area where there's a large field behind me. And I used to be able to not see beyond those trees. Now I can see to the to the entire area, see through the trees.
Right.
So anyway, again, I'm impressed with your group that you have. Very impressive.
I want to chime in with one thought, Bill. So I have a blue spruce, a nice big one, and it's got the same problem. What I wanted to add is that many years ago, I don't know how this happened, planted a hemlock tree, and it is a beautiful tree. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Really? Yeah.
Hemlocks are gorgeous if they're in the right sited in the right location. You know, if they're happy in the right spot, you got them in.
And they get big too, don't they?
Yeah, they just are a little more temperamental to grow than like a blue spruce, but they are beautiful when they do well.
I must say again, I've been studying your reports, and you guys do a wonderful job on showing all the kind of trees available and everything you're doing to look at. I'm impressed. Said that more than once.
Thank you.
I make a motion, we get Bill Rollins to be our PR guy.
No, Herb.
Bill, I wanted to thank you for your comments. I also want to say that, you know, these meetings are all public meetings, and you're welcome to attend any of them or all of them that you want. We're going to talk about the next meeting very shortly, the date, but you're welcome. And if you have any issues, comments, or whatever that would indicate we need to do some work on forestation, please let us know. I did have one question about the Hunting Creek entrance. Was it the spruces you were concerned about there?
See that they were just on the entrance. There's two things. Presently, there's a couple of trees that are really dead now, I would say. But before, and I can ask you, the city, didn't you, on the entry, the midsection there, you had planted about 3 to 4 blue spruce and left them for a while, and then all of a sudden you had to take them out. Is that correct?
We've only been taking out older spruces there that were there for years. We took an older one out a few years ago.
I know what he's talking about.
The concern about vision there at White Hill, I think.
Yeah, we repositioned those because we lived in With Hill Circle, complained a lot that when they came out, they couldn't see oncoming traffic because of the blue. Yeah, so we moved.
Those were crab apples we took out there.
I
Right?
think there also was a spruce, right?
No, about 3 years ago.
Yeah, just right down the hill from the crab apples. And
Yeah, there was a big blue spruce, and it also, Bill's correct, it had needle cast, and now there's another dead spruce there that I don't think, you know, we've been waiting for the budget to get resolved so it can be removed. And then I think there's 2 younger. I'm sorry.
About spruce trees that were planted just past the stop sign.
Oh, right. You're right.
And then
I forgot about
we
this.
had to move those.
Right. Yes.
But they obstructed the view of oncoming traffic, so we had to move them.
Right. I forgot about those. Sorry. You're right. Okay. Lee, what else do you have?
Are you thinking we need to move another or remove another tree from that area? That wasn't clear to me.
It's on the list, Lee. It's already on the list. It's just the.
Already on the list. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
it's already on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We've run through every specific item on the agenda except the next meeting date. But before we go to that, does anyone have any further subjects to bring up or comments to make?
I do have one thing to share, and this came in my mail today from Udell Gardens. I don't know if any of you are members, but they're doing some virtual seminars that sound kind of intriguing. There's one on October 15th. It's, I think, looks like an hour and a half in the evening. It's called Tree Talk with Experts. It's virtual. There's a small fee. It says half a dozen of our region's best tree people will come together in this virtual masterclass in tree selection. So I thought that sounded kind of interesting. They also have another one that's in November on The Secret Life of Trees, which is a book that, thanks to Connie, we've all been exposed to. So if you want more information, or if you're not a UDEL member, I can get it to you.
Very nice.
Yeah, I would be interested, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be interested too.
Okay, I'll send it to everybody.
Okay, great.
Since you mentioned that, I'll put in a little plug for the Waterfront Botanical Gardens.
All right.
They're interested in garden guides, and you don't have to be a horticultural expert because they allowed me to be one. I will admit a lot of the garden guides are very savvy, but normally it's a 2-hour shift, 2 to 3 hour shift, whatever day you want, and they're sort of have a need for that, to sort of to police it in a way where people, don't bring their pets and things. So it's a nice, friendly kind of position. So if you just contact them, they'll give you information if you're interested. They do give you training, and you can get a free hat.
Free hat.
Good deal.
Lee, you asked for new things. I'm in hopes, I know there's election coming up and there's going to be somewhat of a change in new council, but I would hope our council in the future is aware of how many trees that people, there's so many trees that were planted close to people's homes that they felt they need to take them down. I see it in Honey Creek in many places. So if we're really, really interested, and one of our missions is planting trees, which I think it's been proven that helps in the carbon footprint, that in the future that the council would allow that we could plant more trees than what they have budgeted us so they budget us 25. That's $12.50 a year. So I just hope that they're more sensitive to that. They think the value in Prospect being a tree city and being a real good steward of our environment also.
I think it's a real shame
We
that
thank
we take out more trees than we
John
plant.
Gibson for being online for our meeting. And I've gotten a couple of emails from Greg Hulsman. He wanted to be on this meeting, but the contractor he had an appointment with was running late there for time. So I don't think he made it to this meeting, but we do appreciate having that council person interest. And the more information we put out, I think council members will better understand the forestation needs of the city.
Lee, thank you for the invitation. It's been a learning experience listening to you guys. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's great to have you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we have a great forestation board, and every person on that board contributes. This is a 1 or 2 person operation, and most of the people have been on for quite a while. And thanks to Andrew, we've learned a little bit about trees. Now I can tell when it's a crystal tree and when it's not.
Oh, you know more than that. You guys know a lot about trees.
There we go. So next item would be the next meeting. Our normal schedule would be second Tuesday in October, which happens to be the 13th. Is that fine for everyone, or is it not?
It'll work.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It'll work for her.
At 2 o'clock, we can make it 2 o'clock, Lee, or you all?
Oh, yeah. Right. How about Linda?
2 o'clock on the 13th sounds fine.
And Connie?
Oh, I'm so busy, Lee, but I'll try to make room for that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
let's
it's
put it
good
down
for me.
PM on the 13th.
Yep.
Okay, I got it down.
I'm good with that as well. Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, great. Yeah, okay. So, thank you for all for participating, and we need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Good
meeting.
day, you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Aye.
Bye-bye. Oh, maybe.